Today we're going to talk about how to gear mages in Black Clover Mobile. Do you go for 2 sets, 4 sets? Is there other ways to get gear other than the dungeons? Stay tuned to find out. Hit that sub button, hit the like button, hit that bell ding-a-ding-a thing so you know when I post a video. Let's go, baby. I'll talk specifics about the role like defender, attacker, support, etc. But let's talk about the 6x6 grid. Gear has different shapes that it takes in the grid. Some are a vertical 2x3 rectangle, others a 2x2 square, and some are a 2x3 rectangle horizontally. What you want to look into is the main stat. It literally shows it right here. The star is magic attack, the sword is physical attack, the heart is HP, the shield is defense. Now the deciding factor is whether you want the 2 set or the 4 set. I highly recommend to only do 2 sets on majority of mages. If you do a 4 set, you will have some of the grid open. If you didn't know, if you click on info, it'll show the best gear that you have with that 4 set. You can actually click on that from here and equip it so you don't have to go searching in your box. So the problem with 4 sets, there is no way that you're going to be able to take up every single thing on the grid. You will always leave some type of space. There's no gear currently that can fill a single column or a single row. So if you want to prioritize attack or magic attack, which if it's an attacker, I highly suggest going for the attack main stat, because your healers and supports most likely need magic attack more than they do. But definitely look for substats that go for an attacker. Magic attack, attack, crit rate, crit damage. Your main goal is to go for at least 3 2 sets. Early game, it might not matter. You might not have the gear for that. You gotta take what you can get. After you get these 4 on the grid, you then wanna look for 3 squares, all having attack. If you can match the set, perfect. This is what an attacker grid should look like. Preferably 3 2 sets if you can do it. But every single piece of gear here does have a main stat of attack. If you can do magic attack too, sure, why not? Depends on your substats. But early game, prioritize attack because your supports and healers will need a magic attack more than they will. At least level everything to +4. If it has decent substats, yeah, take it to +8. But I would highly suggest waiting to +8 or +12 it when you have perfect substats. Noelle Silva, for example, she's based highly on magic attack. Her barrier is higher with higher magic attack. She actually hits hard on her basic attack if it crits. So magic attack and then survivability for the rest. But again, same deal. Get that magic attack as high as you can. Grab 2 sets if you can, and this is a final grid for a supporter. Again, every single piece of gear here has a magic attack as the main stat. This is due to her barrier. At level 5 max skilled, it's 260% of own magic attack as a barrier. Same with her second skill, the single target shield. It goes up to 250% of magic attack. Now for defenders or anyone else that you want to make sure they stay alive, it's like an attacker's but just sideways. If they're a bruiser or a tank that you want to do more damage, you could put squares that are attack or magic attack. Just make sure to look at the skills first. As you see, like Asta is only attack. You don't want to put magic attack on him. So you could do something like this. Give him a little bit more attack. This is more for like a bruiser. But if you want to make someone real tanky, but you could go all out like this. Just straight tankiness. You can also gear defenders like this. Super tanky once again. There are instances where you want to use 4 sets though. Valtos, for example, already has high base speed. It even gets higher once you max him out. His special skill increases your whole team's mobility to 20%. This lets your team go first. Or Finral, for example. His second skill increases all allies' attack and has a chance to increase the mobility. So you want these units to go first. So you're going to want a speed set, the complete full speed set. The lower dungeons drops Traveler's Essentials, which it's okay, but you really need that speed 4 set. Grants a 4% increased speed buff to the wearer for 1 turn at the start of combat. Secret of the Deep Sea is way better though. You get a 5% increased speed buff for 2 turns at the start of a wave. And the 4 set gives you +5 speed too. So for PvP, this is essential. So you're gonna have to use the 4 set with 3 other squares. Preferably with 1 2 set that makes sense it's going to look something like this. I recommend you get 8 sets of gear. This is for raid. Alright, so besides getting geared in dungeons, you're going to be farming dungeons a lot. You're going to get crap gear. You're going to want to go to Vanessa in your hideout, go to create gear, and you can go by blocks or you can go by main stats. Really just depends on what you're looking for. Let's go for main stats and attack. And the best way to get LR gear is taking 2 pieces of UR gear and 8 pieces of SSR gear. You have a 30% chance to get an LR. You're not using this gear anyway, so you want to craft it and hope and pray to the RNG gods that you get an LR piece of gear. Now the real RNG is the substats too, but this is another way to get LR gear. That's it for today's video. Just wanted to showcase how to gear and other ways to get it. If you end up liking this video, hit the sub button, hit the like button, hit that bell ding-a-ding-a thing. I'll see you in the next one. Peace!